Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl and I'm the creator and maker behind CM Handmade Co. I'm really excited today because today I'm finally going to share with you my gnome for the holidays pattern. We're going to do a step-by-step tutorial and you can make your very own. So this tutorial is going to be in two parts. The first part is where we are going to make the basic gnome. It's all one color at the bottom. You have your bobble stitches here, your mustache bobble stitch, and one color for the hat. Okay, basic. The second part of the tutorial is going to be how to do these modifications so you can make your very own little Santa gnome. And then you can use these modifications to make your own gnomes. They can be all different seasons. They can be all different colors, and you can add whatever modifications that you want to make. So the modifications include adding a brim color for the hat, adding a pom pom for the hat, adding color to the back instead of it being the beard color, so differentiating the beard and the body, and then also adding these cute little arms for your gnome. So these gnomes sit up by themselves pretty good. If you wanted to, you could add poly pellets or weighted pellets in the bottom if you wanted to help them stand up. But they are designed to stand up on their own like that. I did want to add what my favorite parts of these gnomes are, and it has got to be the bobble stitch beard and mustache. Doing the bobble stitch, it's stitched right in. You don't have to add it on later, and it adds fullness, full beard. And then we surface crochet the mustache on later, and it adds a little mustache, which I think is perfect for a Santa Claus and also perfect for gnomes. Anyway, I'm super excited to share this with you. So let's get started. So let's go over the materials that you'll need. First, a super bulky size 6 yarn. You'll need a hat color. I'm going to use green. You'll need a beard color. I'm going to use charcoal. And for a nose color, I'm going to use yellow. A 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, a yarn needle, scissors, 6 stitch markers, and polyfill. It's important to note that you can use any type of yarn for this pattern. You just have to adjust your hook size. So for round 1, begin with the hat color. We're going to do 4 single crochets in a magic ring. Pull that tight. And I bring this to the front so then when I'm done, if there's a little gap here, I can sew it shut with that piece of yarn. So for round 2, we're going to do single crochet in the first stitch and increase in the next, and we're going to do that twice. And then for round 3, we're going to single crochet all the way around for a total of 6 stitches. Round 4, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to increase in the third, and we're going to do that twice for a total of 8 stitches around. Okay, now for round 5, it is single crochet all the way around in each stitch. Round 6, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, increase in the next, times 2 for a total of 10 stitches. Round 7, single crochet in the next 4 stitches, increase in the next, times 2 for a total of 12 stitches. Round 8 is single crochet in each stitch around. Round 9 is single crochet in the next 5 stitches, then increase in the next. We're going to do that twice for a total of 14 stitches. Round 10, single crochet in the next six stitches, and then increase in the next, times 2 for a total of 16 stitches. Round 11 is single crochet in the next 7 stitches, increase in the next, and then single crochet in the 8 remaining stitches. For round 12, we're going to be crocheting in the front loop only, and then we'll be using that back loop for round 13. So what I like to do is place my stitch marker in the back loop of the first stitch and in the back loop of the last stitch we just worked. And that'll just be guides for for round 13. So for round 12, we're going to front loop only all the way around, and we're going to single crochet in the next 7 stitches, increase in the next, single crochet in the next, increase in the next, and then 7 single crochets in the remaining stitches. So front loop only, single crochet in the next 7, and then we're going to increase in the next, single crochet in the next, and then increase in the next, and then single crochet in the remaining 7. And just so you know, where we did the increase, single crochet, increase, that is going to be where our nose is going to be worked, and then that will be the brim that fits over the nose. We're done with the hat color, so we're going to fasten that off and leave a tail for sewing, about, I don't know, 10 inches maybe. Just, you'll always like to have too much than not enough. Okay, so that's fastened off, and we'll leave that for later. Okay, so we have, this will be our back loop here. We're going to take our beard color and attach it to our hook. Okay, so we're going to attach the beard color in the last back loop, okay? It doesn't count as a stitch, that's just where we're attaching our yarn. So slip stitch that on there. Now we're going to work round 13 in the back loops. So we're going to single crochet in the first 8 stitches, and then we're going to color change to our nose color. So let's start with that. So there's one, put our stitch marker. Okay. And when you're working in the back loops of that row, just be careful that you don't miss a stitch, and that you don't put 2 stitches in the same one. So just take it nice and slow and make sure you're doing it right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to color change to our nose color. Okay. Oops. Okay. I tie it here. Okay. Then in the next back loop here, we're going to work a big bobble stitch. So the big bobble stitch is 5 double crochets worked into a bobble. So we're going to yarn over and insert our hook through that back loop, yarn over again and pull that loop up, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then we'll have 2 left on the hook. We're going to repeat that until we have 6 left on the hook. So now we're going to color change back to our beard color. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet in the remaining 8 back loops. So and that last one is the back loop that we had marked and where we joined our beard color. So perfect. So there you go. Now we're all done with the nose color. So I'm going to tie that off. That'll just be tucked in there. Round 14 is we're going to single crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now we are going to work a bobble stitch, and it's important to note that this isn't a big bobble, this is just an ordinary bobble, and for this pattern it's going to be 3 double crochets. So we're going to work a bobble stitch in the next one. So 3 double crochet bobble stitch, we do it until there's 4 on the hook, yarn over and pull through those 4 loops. Okay, so for the next 5 stitches, we're going to only be crocheting in the back loop only. So later, when we're done, the first part of the gnome, we're going to then go back and work a mustache in these 5 stitches. So I like to mark these stitches so that it's easier to find later on. As well, I won't crochet them right now when I am doing this round. So there's 5 front loops marked off, and I'm going to work 5 bobble stitches in the back loops of the next 5 stitches. Okay, so after those 5 bobble stitches, now we're going to work a normal bobble stitch, so that's in the both loops in the next stitch. Okay, and then single crochet in the next 5 stitches. Round 15, we're going to single crochet in the first 7 stitches, bobble stitch in the next 4, and then single crochet in the last 6. Okay, round 16 is going to be single crochet in the first 6 stitches, then we're going to slip stitch in the next 5, and then single crochet in the last 6. And when you do the slip stitches, leave them a little bit loose, just because we are going to be working a decrease in one of them. So it's nice if they're, just kind of normal tension, not too tight. Okay, and then single crochet in the last 6. Okay, round 17, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch. Then we're going to do 3 single crochets in a decrease 3 times, and then single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, so now we're going to stuff our gnome. If we want to fold down the hat, then don't leave the hat a little bit unstuffed. I rarely stuff right up to the top. It kind of forms a nice kind of a slant here. So I start by just putting a little bit into the hat, but not too much, because if I wanna, so right now my stuffing is here, just enough to make the hat a little bit full there. Okay, and then I like to put stuffing in and work it to the outside. So then there's a hollow point in the middle. Okay, and I keep adding some stuffing and making sure that there's that hollow point in the middle. And this is going to help our gnome sit up by creating kind of like a cylinder in the middle. I've just found that that works better. Okay, and then when I have that hole there, I just take a little bit more and shove it in that hole. Okay. Now for row 18, we're going to do back loop only decreases, and we're going to do that 7 times. So we use the back loop decrease because it creates more of a flat bottom. Okay. Oops. Okay. And we're going to fasten off and close the hole by weaving in around the front loops. And then another trick for helping it sit up is, so we'll do our fasten off, and then I tie my knots right here. So you know how we created that kind of cylinder by pushing that up through the center a little bit and then bringing it up here to the edge of the hat. Kind of creates a little indent, if you can see that, and that helps them sit up. Okay, so then I'm just going to knot off here again to keep that little indent going. And then weave that in. Okay, so there we have the first part of the gnome. So for the mustache, we're going to take our beard color, attach it to our yarn, our crochet hook, turn the gnome so the hat is facing towards you, and you have your 5 stitches here. So slip stitch into that first stitch. Okay. Then in the next stitch, front loop there, we're going to work a bobble stitch. So this is a 3 double crochet bobble. Okay. And then in the yellow one, another bobble stitch. So 3 bobble stitches all together. So a slip stitch, 3 bobble stitches, and a slip stitch make the mustache. Okay, and then the last one, we're just going to slip stitch. Okay, and just pull that right through. Cut, pull right through. So that kind of like makes our mustache turn up like this. We're gonna fold that mustache down and puff it out. Okay, now where we tied on with the slip stitch, we're going to feed that down through until kind of like in between the 2 bobble stitch rows, and we're going to pull that there. And then we're going to take the other end and do the exact same thing and out the same hole. Pull it tight, and then we're going to tie these together. Just be careful not to pull too tight and break the yarn, which I have done. Okay, so now we're just gonna weave those in. And trim that off. We're going to do an invisible finish for our hat. So where we left off, we're going to count over 2. We're going to go up through, and then we're going to come back down through the last stitch in that row. Okay. And then we're going to pull it so that this kind of creates a stitch like that as an invisible finish. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to tack that down here with some knots. Okay, the next part is to make this kind of hat go around the nose a little bit. See, it's kind of like fluffed up there. We want to tack it down a little bit. So to start doing that, we take our yarn and put it out through the side of the nose on one side. So there we have it. Okay. Then put it up through between the stitches here on that hat, and then where you want it tacked down, you go over one stitch and put it down through like that, and then into here, out the other side of the nose, and that tacks that side down. See, that's that side down, and then you go up again and down the other side of the stitch, and then that kind of tacks that side down. See, kind of gives it a little bit of a illusion of a around the nose. Okay, so then I'm just going to bring this up to the green ridge and do a couple of knots. Okay, so then the final decision you have for this guy is you can leave the hat as is. So I'm just going to weave in my ends for this one. Okay, if you want it to fold down the hat, then what I would do is I would take this guy up here. And you know how at the start I said sometimes there's like a little bit of a gap there? So I use that to sew those two stitches together. Sorry, my hand was probably in the way of that. So it's just taking those like that and closing that hole. And then finding somewhere to tie a knot. And we'll do another knot. Okay, so if you left this one long enough and you want it to fold down the hat, you could just tack it down by going here, choosing where you want it tacked down, tacking it down. So it kind of looks cute. Again, like I said, I'm just going to leave it like this for now. If I want to tack it down, I'll tack it down later. So I am just going to weave these ends in and get rid of them. Okay, so that was part one. That was just your basic gnome. Now we're going to go on to part two, which is the Santa modifications and all the other modifications if you want to add them to the basic gnome. All of the materials are the same for the modifications, but you will need an extra color for the tips, the mittens on the arms. So I'm going to use black for that. And then I'm going to use white for the beard and the brim of the hat and the ring around the cuffs of the arms. And I'm going to use red for the hat and the body color. And then for the nose, I'm going to use this light tan color. So on to part two. Okay, so I've worked the hat pattern up until the end of round 10. Now for round 11, we're going to switch to the brim of the hat color. For this, we're going to use, it's going to be a Santa Claus, so I'm going to switch to white. And we can cut off the hat color. For round 11, I'm going to crochet in the back loop only, and I'm going to single crochet in the first 7 stitches, increase in the next, and then single crochet in the remaining 8 stitches. Okay, round 12, we're going to only work in the front loop, so this creates the brim of the hat. So I'm going to mark the back loop of the first stitch, and I'm going to mark the back loop of the last stitch, and that will help us when we go on to round 13. Okay, so for round 12, front loop only, single crochet in the first 7 stitches, increase in the next, single crochet in the next, increase in the next, and then single crochet in the last remaining stitches. So now we're going to, we're done with the brim of the hat. So we'll leave an end, a longer end, and fasten that off, and we'll finish that later. Okay, now we're going to move on to the color portion of the back and the beard. Okay, so we're going to attach whatever we want the body color to be. So for back here, so because I'm doing a Santa Claus, I want this to be red. Okay, so I'm going to switch to attach my red again. The last back loop that we worked and we left, I'm going to slip stitch there. Okay. Then I'm going to, in those back loops of round 11, we're first going to single crochet 5 and then color change to beard color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. So in that 5th stitch, we're going to color change back to the beard color, which for Santa is going to be white. I am going to carry my red around. You just have to be careful that it doesn't show through. We've worked our 5 stitches. We've color changed to the beard color. And now in the back loop, I'm going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then color change to my nose color, which I'm going to do this light cream color. So color change to your nose color. Okay, and then in the back loop, we're going to do a big bobble. So this is one with 5 double crochets. Color change back to your beard color, just here. And then 3 single crochets in your beard color. Again, carrying the red behind, pulling it tight so it doesn't peek through. So 3 single crochets and then color change to red. And then you should have 5 single crochets left. And we do. Perfect. So now we're done with the nose color, so let's just tie that off and be done. Okay. For round 14, we are going to work 5 single crochets in the red color. I'm going to carry my white underneath. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going going to switch then to the beard color. Okay. Carrying my red in behind. And then in the next one we're going to do a bobble stitch. So this is with 3 double crochet bobble stitch. Okay, now we are going to mark our stitches for the mustache. So mark the next 5 front loops, and we'll use that to work our mustache later. Okay, so we're going to do 5 bobbles in the next back loops. So 5 bobble stitches. Oops, I missed a stitch here. Whoopsie. We're in the back loop of the nose. And then one more bobble stitch. In both loops this time. And color change to red. And we're going to carry our white in the back and single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So for round 15, we're going to single crochet in the next 7 stitches and then color change to the beard, 4 bobble stitches in the white color, and then we're going to color change back to the red and do 6 single crochets in the remaining stitches. color change to red in that last bobble stitch. Okay, so color change to the red after the last bobble, and then single crochet in the remaining 6 stitches. Okay, so we're done with the beard color now. So let's get rid of it. Tie it off. And tuck it away. Okay, so round 16 is single crochet 6 stitches, slip stitch 5 stitches, and then single crochet 6 stitches. For round 17, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then we are going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease, and we're going to repeat that 3 times, and then single crochet in the remaining 2 stitches. Okay, now stuff your gnome and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so for round 18, we're going to back loop only, decrease times 7. So 1, 2, fasten off, close the hole, and weave in your end. So the mustache, the same as before, is single crochet, or sorry, slip stitch to the first marked front loop, then 3 bobble stitches, and then slip stitch to the end, and then fasten off. So there's my slip stitch. Now I'll do 3 bobbles. stitch, pull that through, fold down your mustache, and sew in and tie off these ends. I'm going to use this one to tie down the hat, although this one looks pretty good. You might not have to tie it down, but I'm going to do it anyway. So up beside the nose and up through the hat, down the side of a stitch, over to the other side of the nose, up through the hat, down side of a stitch, and down. Kind of ties it down a little bit. I'm going to go back up here actually and tie that off there before I weave it in. As you go through it and you see little pieces of white peeking through, you can just bring out the red stitch like that. Or you can even go over it with another piece of yarn and go through it just to make it tidy it up a bit. So next we're going to add a pom-pom to the top of this guy. It's very simple. It's just a bobble stitch. So whatever you want your bobble to be, this is going to be white for Santa in the back, because if it folds down, we want the bobble stitch front to be here. So I'm going to just attach my, find a piece here that I can attach to right here. There we go. So slip stitch the white piece on. Oops. Easier said than done. Slip stitch right there. Okay. So now we're going to just work 4 or 5 double crochets into a bobble. Sorry. 2, 3. Let's do one more here. 4 and fasten off. Okay, so before we tack down the hat, I'm going to use this piece. Just there's a little kind of hole there that I don't like, so I'm going to use this to close off that hole by stitching those two together. And then I'm going to knot off there. I want to tack down the hat, so I want to bring my stitch to the front, where the hat's going to be tacked down. And then decide where you want it. I think right about here would be good. So go through your stitches there, bring your hat down, go through the hat, and the same place that you put your stitch in before, in the base of the hat, and then pull tight, put your work to the back here, and then fasten it off with a knot. Two knots. Tidy up this bobble here. So I start by just tying the two ends together. Okay, and it looks pretty good, but you can see it's kind of off to the side there. So when I sew in, I want it to be better. So I'll thread my one end in, and I'm going to go through I'm going to go through the bobble stitch and then go through where I want it to be more connected to the hat. So right here, if I do that, it goes right into place there. Okay, and so then we're going to go back to the back, tie that off again, and then we're going to hide our ends in up through the hat and down through the stuffed part of the hat. Okay, I'm gonna fix this hat brim, do an invisible join, and then one last thing to consider after this. Very cute. Oh, we're slanted here. So very cute and perfect. Okay, so last part of our modifications is to add arms. So starting with black, or whatever you want your mitten color to be, single crochet, do 6, okay, so to start, put 6 single crochets in a magic ring. And in the last single crochet, color change to white. Okay, so close your magic ring, and then I'm going to tie off my white. We're done with the black. So then I just like to tidy things up by tying the 2 black together. Okay, so now for round 2, it's going to be 6 slip stitches. Okay, I'm going to start to see the cuff forming. All right, so for round 3 of the arm, it's back loop only, and we're going to do 6 single crochets. And in the last single crochet, we're going to change colors to red. All right, so same as before, I'm going to tie off the white, the color I'm ending with the color I'm starting with. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the white that we're ending with, and then just to tidy a bit, I'm going to tie the 2 white together. Okay, so now we are on to the next round. Round 4 is going to be 6 slip stitches. our slip stitches are going to be worked not extremely tight, just kind of an easy slip stitch. It'll make it easier for our next round. Okay, and so for the final round, round 5, we're going to do back loop only, and we're going to do 6 single crochets. So there's 1. If you find it hard to split the slip stitch, you can take your yarn needle and just gently separate the two, and it gives you an idea of where to go. This is a little hard to differentiate. There we go. So that's our last one. So we'll do 6. Something went weird there. Okay, so pull up and fasten off and give yourself an end to sew the arm on. Okay, take the end of your crochet hook and just stuff all those ends in. No need to stuff with more stuffing or anything like that. And then I like to take this end and weave it towards the center. Okay, and that's where we'll be sewing on. Okay, so those are our 2 little arms. One side will be a little bit kind of wonky where we did our color changes. So those are going to be the sides of the arms that are going to be against the body. So we have our gnome here. Okay, so you can either close off before you sew them in by weaving across those 6 stitches like that, or you can do it as you're sewing into the hat, whatever you would like. So this arm is going to be sewn on where underneath the brim of the hat, right next to the beard. Will be your first. Okay. I don't know. Okay, and then bounce through. Probably like 3 or 4 whip stitches to get the arm in place, just like that. You could leave it like that, or you could tack it down to the body like this. It's whatever your preference is. So I'm going to do 1 more stitch here, and then I'm going to tie off up here. And then just bring that to the back of my gnome. So on the other arm, the exact same way. So this is where our wonky stitch changes are, so that's going to be towards the back. I'm going to stitch here to make a flat top. And I tuck that up underneath here. So I want this side of the arm to be right next to the beard, so I'm going over to it here. Feed that through here. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to weave that to the back. And then just tie off, weave in your ends and you are done. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this crochet tutorial. I loved showing you this pattern, and I hope that you make your own gnomes. And if you do, please send me a picture or tag me in a post. I would love to see what you create. If you like this tutorial, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel. That would be so much appreciated. And until next time, stay safe and happy crocheting.